Now, the Chinese President Xi Jinping has finally congratulated Joe Biden on winning the U.S. presidential election. To get the very latest on that, let's go now live to Beijing with France 24's Charles Pellegrin. Charles, in his message to Joe Biden, Xi Jinping made his hopes for the U.S.-China relationship clear. He'd like, quote, healthy and stable relations. What does that mean exactly?
Healthy and stable, definitely two words that couldn't be used to describe the relationship between the United States and China during Donald Trump's presidency. So the hopes for Xi Jinping and for China with Joe Biden's election as president of the United States is to see at least some stability, some predictability, and why not some cooperation in key areas. The two main ones that come to mind here are the global fight against climate change, with China being a signatory of the Paris Accords and potentially Joe Biden and the United States re-entering those accords. Another one could be, for instance, the global response to the COVID-19 pandemic, where potentially the United States could reintegrate the World Health Organization, of which China is obviously a member. For the rest, there's obviously going to be a lot of space for confrontation, for conflict between those two countries. But the statement that was issued regarding this message that Xi Jinping sent to Joe Biden mentions an ability to manage the differences between the two countries. And what that means from China's perspective is basically respecting China's sovereignty and not interfering in its domestic affairs, which is what China tends to say anytime it's being criticized.
Right, but this is a tricky thing because during the campaign, Joe Biden said he would have a tough line on China's expectations. He's even referred to Xi as a thug for his human rights practices. Will Joe Biden be able to meet those Chinese expectations?
Well, yeah, if we're just going on the record of what Joe Biden said during this campaign in the last few years, it doesn't look very good. That's right. Joe Biden's explained that he sees China as a rival to the United States and that he wants to force China to play by international rules. That's something he said. And this on matters of commerce or the treatment of foreign companies entering the Chinese market, or on matters of territorial disputes. For example, the question of the South China Sea and and China's claims in that area, which are contested by its neighbors, but also the wider international community, and obviously questions of human rights. We saw it with the imposition of the national security law in Hong Kong, or the treatment of the Uyghur minority in Xinjiang province, or in other provinces as well, with Tibet, for instance. That's right. Joe Biden even referring to Xi Jinping as a thug. So the long-term trajectory, really, of the U.S.-China relationship does not look good. And while Joe Biden could bring a little bit of stability, a little bit of predictability, it's not going to change the course of that relationship.
Charles, thanks for that. Charles Pellegrin reporting live for us from Beijing.